Hello, I'm James Patrick Hunt. This is my friend Milton Homer Berry, and we're doing Patrick and Homer Review the Movies. And today we're going to review the latest James Bond movie, Skyfall. And as you can see, we're in Milton's home here.
Pictures
So,
of me.
we both saw it separately. We talked about it before. As you know, I was a little disappointed in it. I think most of the critics liked it.
You didn't disappointed. You did this show.
I did. Okay, I did. That's right.
That's like a major down. It wasn't.
I did do
It wasn't that bad.
I did do that. What is it you liked about it?
I liked. I just liked him a lot.
Craig.
And I like.
You liked Daniel Craig?
Yeah, Daniel Craig, and I just like the camera work and the action, and of course the acting is good. But I have to agree that there's so much about it that was so not fun fairy tale, but a little serious.
Yeah, and we talked about that before. I thought it was totally lacking.
Yeah.
The fun.
Yeah.
And every great Bond movie I've seen, you know, even with Connery, who was not known for being a funny, happy-go-lucky guy, there was always a moment of fun, of glibness, of something, some sort of joke. And the only thing
Excuse me. Thank you, ma'am.
The only time I spotted that, there's only one scene I can think of where I spotted the sense of fun, and that's the scene where he's just received he's in the casino, I think, in Hong Kong or Macau, and he's just received this suitcase full of money, or this briefcase full of money, and then he's surrounded by three guys that are going to kill him. And Craig does this sort of like 1, 2, 3,
Right.
and then he and then they land in the pit with the Komodo
Right.
dragon. So now there was a smirk there in his face, like, oh, you know, that was kind of funny, kind of Roger Moore-esque or something. That's it. The rest of the movie, he's just sort of grim and
Well, I think
too serious for me.
I think what happens with the movie is that you got to remember this was totally a blue collar guy, whereas Roger and Sean and the other fellow that did one wasn't so blue collar. These guys are pretty kind of highly, maybe not educated, but they had society training and all. Whereas Craig is more blue collar. So and I agree though, he has to be a little bit more fun. He has to have a little bit more of a cool smirk, a little bit of gotcha, and then a kill, or gotcha, and then he gets in bed and gets out of bed. Something that not that he copies Bond, but he's got to make us go, this is fun, and it's a bit silly.
Right, and Sam Mendes directed the film, and
Yeah.
I think he's acknowledged that he's...
Now, isn't he married to the actress?
To who?
Isn't he married to, what's her name?
Oh, Kate Winslet?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't
Maybe
think
he is
he
too.
is.
But anyway, he acknowledged apparently some influence from the Dark Knight films. You know, I think I've read that somewhere. Maybe you have too.
No, I did not.
Which I don't think works.
But I don't know what oh, you mean in Javier Bardem?
No. Well, okay, Javier Bardem, but also the notion that okay, Batman, the Dark Knight, is a tortured character, you know, and I think he wanted to sort of carry that over to Bond a bit. And I don't think that's a good idea. For me, it doesn't work. I don't want Bond tortured. I'd rather prefer him kind of like glib and funny and maybe almost sociopathic in how a slight bit sociopathic, in that he doesn't really care that much and doesn't really feel tortured.
But I think what we have to realize is that at my age and even your age, that we come from an era where we just love the books and we love the movies more and Connery and all. And today, I don't know if the audience wants to see that much cool, overly cool, throwing everything away, throwing this line away, throwing that line away, and a bit of silliness. I think they're so accustomed to, what do you call it, Bourne legacy and things like that.
Right, that's true. Yeah, they want the Jason Bourne, which I think is, for me, that's a little false. You know, I like the Bourne films.
Oh, it's a great film.
No,
You didn't see it, so how can you?
I saw 3 of them. No, I'm not talking about that. I'm not talking about
The last one.
I'm talking about the 3 with Matt Damon.
Oh, right,
first written.
the last one is the one to see.
Okay, I haven't seen that. But,
Yeah.
but Matt Damon feels like a woundedness, a guilt, you know.
Yeah, well, he was.
So on and so forth, the self-loathing, because after he kills each guy. The first movie, I kind of bought that. The second and third, I'm like, okay, we've killed about 30 guys. I'm not sure I think that you're
Right.
that
So
upset about it. You know, I mean, it's a little too self-conscious. You know,
But
and I don't know that it was a good idea to take that self-consciousness. There's no doubt the later Bond movies, the Craig Bond movies, are influenced by the Bourne films.
Oh, you think so?
I think
I
they
don't
are.
know.
I think they are, and I'm not so sure.
I just think they made a move. I
Not
just
so
think,
sure that's a
I
good
think they
thing.
made a contemporary move to simply say, this is what people want now. They want a little more seriousness, a lot more killing, or serious killing, you know, hurtful killing. And I think that's, you know, these are producers and directors and writers of today. So I don't think we're going to get what I want, and I think what you're talking about.
No, you're right. I mean, in each
Show me one movie that's got a cool character who's an assassin today.
currently.
Yeah,
Oh, I can't think of one.
I can't think
I
of
can't
one.
think of one. And you're right. Each movie, each era of the Bond movies, is a reflection of its time. Sean Connery, the Bond films were a reflection of its time. And by the time he did his last one, well, his last official one, Diamonds Are Forever, which I thought was terrible. You could tell that it was his time or that era was kind of finished, and it was time to bring in Roger Moore for the 1970s.
Yeah.
And I think for the 1970s, Roger Moore was a great Bond
He
for
was
that
a great
decade.
An unlikely one, but a great Bond.
Yeah, it was his thing.
Yeah.
He did his own thing, but it worked. And Craig, I guess, is one for the
He's
for
one
the
for-
21st century.
He's one for the, whatever you want to call it, but for the blue collar, the middle class, the younger crowd, and they just want to see what he can do so well, especially in the first one, which I thought was the best one of all. I think you like the second one.
I like the second one better, and I'm in a distinct minority there, Quantum of Solace, because the plot was a little muddled, but I thought he was comfortable in the role, and he was kind of funny. There were a couple of scenes in Quantum of Solace, like where he kicks the motorcycle out from under the gun,
Yeah.
and he says, "Well, I missed," and Judi Dench balls him out because he killed a potential witness,
Yeah.
you know, and he says something like, "I don't want to dwell on, you don't want to dwell on that, and neither do I." I mean, there's a couple of light, you know, there's some light comic scenes in that, which I thought suited Daniel Craig. And I'm a big Daniel Craig fan. I've seen Layer Cake probably 5 or 6 times.
Right.
I think he's a top actor.
Yeah, he's a top actor. No question about
Who
that.
happens to be playing James Bond. I just wish
Well,
this last one,
he's
was
a
just
muscular type guy, see?
Yeah.
He's more muscular than anybody else.
You haven't seen Layer Cake though, have you?
No, I'm not.
Layer Cake, he's not at all muscular. And so
But
I'm not-
I mean, he's muscular. I meant him, he the man.
I know what you're saying. I know what you're
Physically.
saying. I don't know that it's the grimness. I don't know
Well,
that it doesn't work for
let
me.
me throw this in because, you know, we just from our sponsors and all, our advertisers, we only have so much time for what they pay. You know. Okay, the first one, the reason it goes, it doesn't matter whether you agree or not, but the reason it goes, and which is not just my opinion, it's fact based on what I know. And the reason it goes is there's that gambling scene that must be in these movies.
Well, that's Bond.
He's heads up. That's Bond. That's
Bond, he
total
is a
Bond.
gambler, yeah.
He's got the kingdom's money. He could lose 2 million or 10 million at just one flip of the card, baccarat. But he holds on. He stares across. He sweats it. He goes and gets laid. He gets into a bad situation. He comes back. He straightens out his cuffs and he calls. Now there's nothing better.
And that was gutsy.
And that's what makes that movie.
That was gutsy. Did it remind you a little bit of Cincinnati Kid, Steve McQueen? I mean,
It reminded me, more of the Great Robinson. Edward G. Robinson.
Edward G. Robinson,
He's the one
oh,
who
yeah, yeah.
stared down the kid.
yeah, he stared down Steve McQueen films.
He just
It was,
kept staring at him.
You're a good kid, but as
You're a
long
good
as
kid.
I'm in town.
Well, they said that
I'll always
afterwards.
say the best.
He kept
After he
saying,
was-
"Call, you gonna call?" Kid?
No, it was gutsy. It was gutsy to spend that much time on a card.
Mhm.
It really was.
But
I agree.
it's necessary as much as we would like to see a little more coolness, a little more smirk, a little more smile underneath. But we've got to have Bond doing something major at stake, not just his life. It's always that, which is good, and or his lady friend, girlfriend getting killed, which is very sad, and can be affecting. But nothing is affecting as when he dresses up, and he's amongst the top people, or the elite, the gamblers, and he sits down with the greatest pressure you can imagine, and he plays it out to the final end. He wins, and the man who he's playing against looks at him and goes, "I'm going to kill you."
Right.
So I love that.
Well, let's get back to Skyfall here.
Okay, are we time-wise? Are we just going to?
No, we're fine.
I mean, I don't want this thing to turn into a big edit.
No. We'll have a few more minutes on
Okay.
Skyfall.
And by the way, Patrick is mostly here to plug his books. He's an author. That's what he's sitting in for. I have nothing to plug, my cat, but that's it.
In Skyfall, there's obviously Freudian issues. Judi Dench is a maternal figure to both.
Which I didn't catch on to. You had to tell me that.
You didn't. I can't believe they beat you over the head with that.
I just don't pay attention to all these movies all the time. I eat popcorn and things. So I don't know why. But I never caught on to that.
Okay, so I was going to ask you if you thought it worked, but you can't answer because you didn't even pick up on it.
Well, I saw the sadness and the agony, in him when she got killed. By the way, quickly, that was
that was good.
But that was ridiculous. First of all, Bardem, who's such a great actor, he was wonderful, except for they were trying to make Hannibal out of him.
Hannibal Lecter out of it.
Just way too much.
Right.
And then it was just silly. What was he doing flying into the old Scottish home of James Bond? It doesn't work. And then what is the people coming out of the tunnel, escaping from this horrible man, Bardem, and they get out into the field and they have a flashlight. And so
Albert Finney turns the flashlight on.
Yeah, what's the joke?
Yeah, that was pretty absurd. Well, Albert Finney sort of lives there too. It's like, okay, I think you know your way through the field.
Oh, I know.
Without turning the flashlight
You know who
on
that
and giving
was?
yourself away. Who?
The actor.
It was Albert Finney.
Yeah, do you know what he was in? What he's famous for?
No. Oh, I think I know.
I think I told you.
Oh, Tom Jones.
And Tom Jones.
Tom Jones.
Which you didn't see.
No, I did see.
What was it about?
This young British cad, for lack of a better term, womanizer.
What was he doing?
And he falls in love with Susanna York and
Yeah.
marries her at the end, I think.
What did they do that was remarkable in the movie?
No, I can't remember.
They had a eating scene, the two of them just eating pheasant and deer and all, talking a little bit, and then the eating, the movement of the mouth, the mushing around of the food became a sexual act, and they just kept eating, and then they got closer on the table, kept eating, and pretty much the food then became part of the layer of the bed or the bedding, and they were on top of the table eating and then having sex.
Okay,
That was a great scene.
That's revolting.
Well,
But
it probably
I really
offended you.
regret that you brought that up.
Well,
Anyway,
but that's what made Albert.
yeah, I remember it more from Miller's Crossing when he kills. I
Yeah.
thought he was terrific at that.
Great.
That was sort of later in his career. Wasn't a
Great.
big star.
But that was an Irish mob,
Right. Well, getting back, I don't think it was a good idea to have Judi Dench, that many Judi Dench scenes. I understand that's
Killed
the plot.
like that. I thought it was so.
Well, no, the killing was good. Having her killed at the end. I guess we've just.
It was a
spoiled that.
little. It was a little. Wasn't a little heart throbbing. Oh my God, my mama, my mama.
Well, that's my point. It was a little
Well, I
too
mean,
much.
Well, it is.
Mama. I mean, and going back to Bond's home, which is Skyfall. That's the title.
That was so.
You know what I thought of? And somebody else said the same thing. But when I was in the film, and they go to Bond's childhood home, and they're waiting for Bardem and the bad guys to show up, and they start laying all these traps, I thought, what is this, the A-Team?
I know, exactly.
And I thought,
Exactly.
I mean, kind of silly. I mean,
It was silly.
It was silly.
You lose it at that point.
And I think it's a mistake. You know, if you want to do a Bond film, I think it's a mistake for us to know too much about the character.
Right.
You always want a sense of mystery. Mystique or mystery. And okay, we get it. Yeah, he grew up at Skyfall. His parents.
Right.
He was a lonely boy. Grew up in this
Scottish,
Scottish, bleak environment. We kind of know that. First of all, do we really need to know
Well,
that?
first of all, I didn't know it. But I sure as heck didn't need to know it.
I didn't need
It
to,
just
exactly.
wasn't
We didn't need
important.
to know it.
It was a little. I think it was a. I read one critique on it that I agreed with completely. I think it was a loser that really hurt the movie.
I thought it hurt the film
I think
too.
what helped the movie is there's several scenes in the movie that hurt the movie. The fancy one in Macau and that fancy building and all that stuff, looking across the way through the glass and seeing something.
You didn't care for that?
Like that. I just thought it just didn't have much intimacy, and I like Bond in an intimate situation. But I think what helped the movie a great deal was when at the end when Ray Fiennes, the Colonel, when he
Ray Fiennes was good.
oh he's good, but when finally you realize that this guy's just not some bureaucratic administrative fellow sitting on the council. He's all of a sudden going to be something, and then you realize, oh my God, he's Q, is it?
He's the next M.
M, he's
The
M.
next M.
And I thought that was remarkable for a great ending, and that's the best thing about the movie. And the movie was not that bad to me. So I'm not going to say thumbs down as they did. What is it, Ebert?
Yeah, they do thumbs down.
We
Yeah.
ought to need to have another gesture, or something like that.
So
Bottoms up.
I would say 2 stars out of 4.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's
it just.
another classification I think is silly.
Oh well, whatever. But,
We could maybe rate it on the kind of cars that you like, those junkies.
okay.
Is it an 87 BMW or a 94 Mercedes?
No, it's a '93 Nissan.
Okay.
No, it's the movie's a big success. People liked it. It's obviously written for a generation younger than ours. It's catered to the moviegoers who maybe want shades of Bourne and shades of The Dark Knight.
Well, I think
But for me, it didn't work. It just wasn't that fun. I thought it was too long. I thought it was too self-important, a little too self-conscious.